What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, so today I'm gonna try my best to answer a pretty vague question. What's what would be the low end of a starting budget to get into hobby welding? Not necessarily professionally, but like get started off as an actual hobby. So I don't have much invested in here. Uh, I have the Amico Cut 50, the Vulcan Omnipro, and from the past videos, the Blue Demon 140 MSI. I still love that machine. I probably still use that one more than the Vulcan, to be honest. Um, but yeah, like I mean, if you're working with let's say about a $400 budget or less, it's still very doable. I know the Blue Demon was a $270 machine, but it's pretty much an off-the-shelf cookie cutter from China, I would assume. Can't find much information on on the Blue Demon welders themselves. So my thought process with those is that they're pretty much the same MIG stick welders that you find on eBay and Amazon that are between 100 amps and 140 amps. You know, and those welders are pretty cheap. I mean, you can get them for well under $200. The Blue Demon, I just simply got it through Jeg simply because of the warranty. I don't remember the warranty it came with, but it was a lot better than getting one from eBay or through Amazon. But yeah, like if you're working with a really low budget, uh, if you do want to get a Chinese welder, a Chinese inverter welder that's similar to the Blue Demon, you're probably gonna spend well under $200 for a machine like that. Because again, I mean, yeah, sure, it's branded Blue Demon, but I'm pretty sure it's an off-the-shelf Chinese welder from Amazon or eBay or whatever. Probably come from the same shop that hundreds of them, the 100 listings you see on eBay and Amazon for those cheap welders. I do like the Blue Demon. I haven't had any problems with it. One thing I use it more now for is just like smaller stick welding stuff and flux core. I haven't ran gas through it since probably my first video. That was the last time I ran MIG gas through it. Simply only because it does leak gas. I don't know if it has a solenoid or if the trigger itself opens the flow of the gas. So yeah, so like if I'm doing like a MIG project where I'm mainly MIG welding, if I've in the past using the Blue Demon, I would lose quite a bit of gas. So from the moment I close the valve on the tank itself, closing the gas, the output pressure would go down probably under 4 seconds. I'm gonna say it was just dropped from wherever pressure was at between. I think right now there's like 750 pounds inside of that, 750 psi inside of the tank. But yeah, it'll drop those 750 in a matter of seconds. And by that I mean probably under 4, easily under 4. So yeah, so it leaks. But then again, so if you're getting started off in welding, probably you're gonna end up learning with flux core or stick, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, MIG welding's pretty easy to learn. Once you get your settings dialed in correctly, there's really not much to go wrong with it. The only limitations that you would have running a 120 volt machine, that you won't be able to weld above 3/16, comfortably. That means, you have to do multi-pass welds and make sure your material's hot already. Like, if you want to weld thicker than 3/16 with the Blue Demon, you're probably gonna have to run multiple beads. And most off-the-shelf flux core wires, they're not meant to be done in multi passes. Stick, you can. I mean, you can just pile up beads on top of each other. Once you have enough heat saturated into a part, and you're using 120 volts, then you can get away with it with certain things. Like even if you do manage to do a decent multi-bead pass with 120 volts, uh, for like a grill or a smoker or a tractor repair or something on one of these things repaired, by all means go for it. It's like, but if you're doing stuff like a trailer hitch on a trailer, or even if you're doing some like chassis work on a vehicle, it's like, yeah, you'd be better off running 240 volts. But there's no reason for that to stray you away from trying to get into welding, because welding, it's one of those I guess you call it a skill. Because it is a skill. It's one of those skills that you really don't. There's no downside to knowing how to weld at all. Like, even if you're a bad welder, but you got a welder and you can stick two pieces of metal together, that's enough for you to start on a little project, and to learn, how to weld. So like, you want to stay under that budget, and you're starting out, there's nothing wrong starting off with 120 volt machine. Like I said, with the Blue Demon, I'm pretty sure it's a clone of one of those cookie cutter welders that you can find on eBay or Amazon. And there's probably no different ones, but since it does do MIG, flux core, and stick, I have TIG welded with it. The arc actually is pretty nice on TIG, for what it is. But regardless, so if you're working with a budget of, we can even bring that budget down to like $300. You have a $300 laying around, and you're thinking about learning how to weld, or let's say you already know how to weld, but you don't have like your own machine at home, or if you know how to weld from a friend's shop, or if you're still in high school or you're going to welding school, yeah, there's if you can spare the financing for it to get you your own welder to start off, and by all means go for it. But there's no downside to having a 120 volt machine, because that 120 volt, they're small, they're light. You can do your projects around the house. If you want to build a grill, build a smoker, build a trailer pit, to a certain extent, you can do it with 120 volts. Might have to upgrade a breaker, but that's really no big deal. You can just get an electrician to wire in a 30 amp outlet for not very much, especially if you have all the materials for him to wire in a plug already. The wire, the breaker, and the plug, and the conduit, and all that stuff. If you already got that on hand, and maybe you can even possibly even lay out the wire itself. An electrician won't charge you that much to wire in a plug if you don't know how to do it. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna be putting on these square tubings on the bottom of this pit here to put on that expanded metal on the bottom, and that pit will be about done. Got to get it sanded down again, get the rust off, rain here. Get it sanded down, get it ready for paint. I guess the end of the video is gonna be just me welding on those things with the Blue Demon. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna be using the Blue Demon. Get this cord. Get this. And yes, I do use this thing on an extension cord most of the time when I use it. I don't think I've ever not used it on the extension cord, which I'll probably get flamed in the comments for, but I don't care. My video. Alright, so these things, so we were expecting rain. I went ahead and painted them, but I'm gonna be using 6011, so I'm not worried about the paint. I won't lie though, the leads that the stick leads that came with the Blue Demon were trash, to say the least. This one doesn't have the original leads. That was like the first thing I did. I don't even think I welded with the regular leads. It's just regular number 4 welding cable. This is the stinger it came with though. It's cheap, it's flimsy, but it works. Oh well. Can I tack the damn thing? Holy shit. Holy shit. My bad. Gotta be careful when you're kicking shit. Y'all see that? What's up, Gizmo? And them clouds behind these trees don't look very nice. Well, if I get rained on, it's just my own fault. Yeah. Alright, well, I thought I had it set up to go, but yeah, it's not sitting in right. I still need to trim that grate. Regardless though, yeah, you want a welder? Get you a Chinese 140 amp, 120 volt uh, flux core stick welder. If you do plan on doing MIG when you start out, then by all means get one that has a that can run MIG, that has the gas inlet. But yeah, I mean, you can get into hobby welding pretty cheap. You know, every year it just gets cheaper and cheaper to be able to weld, which is not a bad thing, because you know, like I said earlier, it's one of those it's never a bad thing knowing how to weld. You know, there's no drawbacks to knowing how to weld. You want to get started, you have a project that you want to do, but you don't want to pay a welder to do it, depending on what the project actually is. By all means, grab a welder. It doesn't gotta be an expensive welder either, you know. I'm pretty sure all the Miller and Lincoln fanboys will watch this video and be like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? Like, cancel his damn channel already. Recommending to buy cheap shit. But hey, I mean, it's there's alternatives in with anything, you know. It's not just welders, you know. It go as far as with anything, you know. With any single product you're thinking of buying, you know, there's always a cheaper alternative out there. You know, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. In this case, at least with me, that thing turned out really good. You know, it wasn't a bad $280 that I spent for it, you know, getting it shipped here. Pair up a $200 eBay welder, you know. Don't steer away of learning how to do MIG and flux core, especially flux core. If you're gonna pick up an inverter welder, flux core is actually pretty good. I actually don't mind doing flux core at all. A lot of people seem to hate it, but I really don't mind it. It's easy to practice with, and it's I feel like stick and flux core, you kind of force yourself to get the fundamentals of welding down before anything, and those fundamentals transfer over to MIG and TIG, you know, in the future, if that's something you want to get into. Like me here, I mean, I have the Dominant Pro, I have the Vulcan TIG rig, I got the bottle of argon, but there's really nothing for me to do here where I need to do TIG welding, but I have it, you know. If someday somebody asks me, like, hey, I got something stainless to be done, you know what, I know how to, I can do it. Not saying I know how to do it, you know, that's a completely different fucking story. It's like, but holy shit, holy thunder, but I do have the capability to do, you know, TIG. I can even go as far as to do, you know, MIG aluminum. I don't have the spool gun for the Vulcan, but you can run aluminum wire through its liner. It might not be the best thing to do, is like, but regardless, you can still do it. That's where, like, everyone kind of, that's where the more experienced welders, you know, the professional welders out there, the ones that you know, that there's only one way to do certain things, and that's it. And like, there's no middle ground. Like, yeah, there is middle ground. You know, there's a big difference in hobby welding and code work and pipeline work and structural work and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, it has its place. Like, but if you want to learn how to weld, by all means, get you a cheap DC inverter machine, whether it be stick, MIG and stick, or MIG, stick, and TIG, or whatever. You know, don't be hesitant to buy a cheap inverter machine anymore. You know, obviously, if you're gonna buy one, from the best place to get one would probably be Amazon, because you know, a lot of their products do have a lot of reviews. You can read through all the reviews. I mean, sure, there'll be bad ones here and there, but you know, it's where we're in that time now where it's like everyone's tight on money. You know, you want to get into welding. Shit. I just keep repeating my damn self here. But yeah, don't be scared to pick up a cheap welder. Don't be scared to do it. And if you're gonna start off welding, uh, from my personal opinion, I would advise, in my opinion, my unprofessional opinion, because I'm not a professional welder, learn how to stick weld with 6011s first. I'll tell you, this machine will not do 6010. It does not like to do 6010. It will not light it worth the shit. 6011, it runs it beautifully. I 6011 rods run great. 7018 rods run great. I'm in South Texas, so I don't have a rod oven, so it's more of an inconvenience for me to have 7018s. Unless I'm gonna do a big project that'll take me like one day to do, then sure, I will buy 7018s and run 7018. It's like, but you know, everything here is welded with 6011. Don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest. But this was done with that machine. Again, I know I have the the 220 Vulcan, you know. Hell, my dad's got the old Tombstone inside the shop. This is my dad's welder, the old Lincoln Tombstone. Don't get me wrong, I love that machine too, you know. You know, don't sly away from flux core or stick welding just because there's slag and sparks and stuff. Hey, that's just part of welding. Even if you're doing MIG, sometimes you're gonna get some crappy ass MIG welds for some damn reason. Don't worry about it. It fucking happens. So yeah, so don't let anybody tell you that that you have to do something a certain way, that you have to learn how to MIG weld first, that you have to learn how to stick weld first, that you have to learn how to flux core weld. You got we're just gonna forget that's a Blue Demon. Let's say that's a, I don't know, whatever, 140, a MIG 140 from Amazon. It does, let's say it's identical to this machine, for example, that it does flux core, it does MIG, and it does stick. You got the three main processes down to the wire. You're gonna spend $200 on that. Come into the shop, go to a flea market, Facebook Marketplace, get you a chop saw, a used one. You'll probably spend like $50 for one. Grinders, get you a bunch of grinders. That's an old Ryobi. There's a Bauer under there. There's an old Makita. The Milwaukee cordless here. And this lighting sucks ass. But regardless, let's say $200 for a machine from Amazon shipped. Let's say another $30 for a Harbor Freight grinder. And don't buy the Drill Masters. There's some people that have had tremendous luck with them, and there's people that hate them. I'm one of the people that hates those. The Drill Master grinders from Harbor Freight suck ass. I would never tell anybody to buy one of those ever. The Bowers work. A couple of my friends from another shop around here, they have the regular switch style Bowers. Those are pretty good. The ones, I'll show you a close up of it. One that I have, this one that has the switch right here. This one's pretty good. This is the Bauer. The Bauer's not bad. Not bad at all. I like it. Cutting discs, auto darkening helmet. This is one thing, you know, I will call myself out on this one. Like I really should buy a better helmet, but I simply don't want to. But for me, the Chicago Electric ones from Harbor Freight, that works for me. I've had that one for like 3 years. The leads that come with most of those machines, they're not the best wire leads that are gonna come. If it comes with stick welding leads, they're gonna suck. the clamp is gonna suck and the stinger's gonna suck. Again, you can buy a and this is what's this is what makes the machines cheap to buy. It's like the accessories that come with them. So this ground clamp was an eBay one. I think I spent like $10 for it. The strap melted away. It's like, but that's copper lug. It works. You know, that's the same one that I used to run on the Vulcan. I just have the adapters for it to run it onto that one. So yeah, with a budget of about $300, you can get into welding and have a solid foundation to learn on. I think I'll be making another flux core video, either another flux core video, or I'm gonna show you this machine, the Amico Cut 50. Is it 50 or 40? Oh yeah, the Focus. It's a Cut 50. But regardless, I'll be doing another video on probably flux core, because it seems like the flux core video was the one that blew up a lot more. I'll have to figure out what to put into the video for that, like what to do with flux core. Maybe like a beginner's guide. I mean, there's a bunch of them on YouTube, like, but it seems like y'all throw around enough love to all the other YouTube channels. Thanks guys, love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. I'll probably do a flux core video or a plasma cutter video. And before the time that I do, if there's comments in this video of what you want me to do, I will do what y'all want from the comments. All right, thanks guys, love y'all, bye.